Welcome everybody to the life skills session. Doing cooking today, everybody knows that, right? My name is Linda, it's right here on my apron if you forget. I work for a company called Cucina Bambi. We're right here in San Jose. And I cook anything from Thai food, sushi, crepes, chocolate making, cupcake decorating, all kinds of things. And today we are going to all make a dish together. We're going to make brown rice with sauteed vegetables and tofu. So we're not going to just make everything, we're going to go through a lot of different processes so I can show you tips for how to cut an onion, for example, how to cut a pepper. We're going to figure out how to use all these crazy utensils. What are these used for? We're going to use these to zest some oranges. We're going to figure out what you do with this. This is to press garlic. We're going to use some juicers. We're going to go over some basics of how you cut vegetables, give you techniques, so hopefully you won't chop your finger. We're going to use vegetable peelers. We're going to use some choppers. So this is a different way that you can chop vegetables, is use a chopper like this. So I'm going to go through and we're going to talk about how to make this dish. You're all going to get an opportunity to cut things because I want you all to have hands-on experience so I can guide you through the best, safest way to cut vegetables. So we're going to cut the vegetables, we're going to saute them. Everybody has a burner on their table, so we're going to cook them. We're then going to add some rice and tofu. Has anybody had tofu before? Oh, quite a few of you. All right, very good. And for those of you who may not have had tofu before, it'd be a good experience to try it. See what you can do with it, see what it tastes like. Tofu, if you don't know, it's a vegetable source. It's a soy-based protein source. So a lot of people eat this if they're vegetarians and don't want to eat meat for protein. They eat tofu as an option. So we're going to go through, we're going to cut everything. We're going to then add the vegetables with brown rice and tofu. Then we are going to make a couple different sauces because the brown rice, tofu, and vegetables is a good base for a meal, but then you can make it taste lots of different ways by making different sauces. So you all are going to make a teriyaki sauce and an orange ginger sauce, and we're going to try that and see how those sauces taste with the dish that you make. So I prepared this meal for you today for two reasons. One is because it's healthy. We've got some whole grains with the brown rice. And the brown rice is cooking already. That's what's in here. So we have some whole grains. We have lots of vegetables. And then we have a protein source. So it's a really good meal that brings together the completeness of a protein, grains, and vegetables. So that's why I wanted to prepare that today. That, and it gives you opportunity to cut a lot of things. So that's the plan, and then, like I said, after we make everything, then we get to eat it. So sometimes that's the best part. So does that sound good so far? Yes? All right, very good. Hopefully you'll get more enthusiastic. Does that sound good so far? Yay! All right. All right, so before I pass out the vegetables to you and the knives and everything to you, I'm going to go over some techniques here. And since nobody's using this cutting board, I'm going to take this. Can everybody see the screen okay? Yeah. Okay. And feel free, I don't like when it's so quiet. So if anybody has a question, you didn't even have to raise your hand because I might not see you. Just say, hey, Linda, what about so-and-so? That'd be awesome. All right, so to cut peppers, what I do is cut it in half first. And this is what it looks like inside. I just take my hands and just kind of rip out all the seeds. Just kind of dump out the seeds, all the white stuff. You don't have to be gentle with it. Just kind of take out all that stuff. And you have the pepper. Then I just make it into slices. So for this dish, you could either leave it as thin slices like this, or you can cut it into more like squares, like this. So to do that, you just take the slices and then cut the slices. Turn the slices sideways and then cut those into squares. So that's as easy as it is to cut a pepper. Any questions on cutting peppers so far? No? All right. Very good. You guys will do awesome with that. So we have red peppers, green peppers, and yellow peppers. And they all taste a little bit differently. The orange, or the yellow and the red peppers are a little sweeter. The green peppers are not so sweet. They have a totally different flavor. So I encourage you to try both. So that's the peppers. Zucchini. Zucchini's a little bit different. It's round, which can make it a little bit difficult to cut. So what I do is I would first cut off the ends. I would throw those away. Then, if you try to cut it like this, it might roll too much, and you'll have there's always a chance that you might cut yourself. So to keep it from rolling around, I just cut off an edge. Just cut off a thin edge there, and then you put that zucchini down, and it doesn't roll anymore. So it's much easier to work with now. And you can even still take this part that you cut off, and you can still cook with it. But it makes it much easier to cut if it's not rolling. So anything that's like that, like a carrot, you do the same thing with. So what you would do with the zucchini, I would do the same as the pepper. I would make some slices with it, and then put those slices on the side. And again, if you wanted to add your zucchini in slices like that, that's fine. If you want to turn them sideways and cut them into squares, you can do that too. So sometimes what I do if I'm making this dish a lot, just so it doesn't seem the same, from one day to the next, so some days I'll do the vegetables in strips, and one day I'll do it in chunks. All right, any questions on zucchinis? But you guys can see how when you cut off an edge and where it's not round, it makes it much easier, right? Okay, we have onion. Onions are tricky. So for onions, again, they're round, which can make it difficult. So what I would do is cut off the ends. And the ends here are just obviously where it was growing here. Now for the onion, you also have this peel to it that you want to get rid of. So what I do is just take a slice from top to bottom like that. Just take your fingers and just take the outer peel off. And just throw that away. And you have the onion. So now since you've cut off the ends, it already has a flat side. So what I would do is I would first cut it in half. Again, lay it down flat so it doesn't roll. And another thing to think about when you're cutting vegetables or cutting anything is to use what's called the claw method. So when you're holding on this onion, if you hold it like this, you have a much better chance of snipping your fingers off, your fingertips. So what you do is take your onion and do this, kind of curl your fingers in and make the claws, what it's called, the claw method. So you have not a good chance to cut your fingertips. So what I would do is cut this way. And then cut it across. And then all you have to do is cut this way. And then you already have chunks. All right. Okay, so that's using knives. Another thing I wanted to show you, if you want to just do a different way of cutting things, it's a little faster and it's a lot more fun actually. We have these choppers here. So you can see there's a blade that when I push it, the blade comes and it actually keeps turning the blade as you push it. So for that, what I would do, you still kind of have to get your vegetable in chunks. So, but you could use bigger chunks. So you could use pieces like this. So you put that down on your mat, put the chopper over it, and you just hit it. It's loud. And then you get some nice onions there. And you can do that with basically any vegetable. Tomato is a little soft, so tomatoes not so much, but you could do that with zucchini, peppers, onions. So when it's your turn to chop things, I'd say use both of the, get a chance to use the knife and also the choppers. So you can learn how to use both of them. I think what we should do is have you guys start with that, and then we're going to move on and I will show you what this funky little thing is, what we're going to do with that, and then also garlic. So let's start you off with some vegetables and we'll go from there. And then you guys can just like cut something in half, and so everybody gets a chance to cut something. So take turns, so like cut half of a pepper and let somebody else cut the other half. You guys are just way too quiet.
It's too early on a Saturday. I'm sure, you know, probably still be sleeping. Wake on it, it's going to be good.
Pepper. Alright, now you guys need something to cut them with, right? Alright, so these knives, although they're colorful, they're very sharp. They're not actual kids' knives. These are plastic kids' knives. They will still cut, they're just not as sharp. So I will give those to you. And we will just be taking turns with the knives. You know what? Since you guys don't have that, this side. And we will just take turns with the knives, so everybody gets a chance. Try that, and the choppers. And you can use the cutting boards right here to put all of your cut vegetables on. So go for it. Start working on your vegetables. I'll be rotating if you have any questions or issues or problems.
Eyes up.
I'm going to show you a couple other things. So while you're waiting for knives, then there's something else for you guys to work on. All right, so we have garlic. Has everybody seen garlic in a clove like this? Yeah, okay, awesome. So you just have to break these apart. Just use your hands, break these apart, get the individual cloves out. Woo, there goes one. Now you can also see, you may have seen garlic that's already diced that comes at the grocery store. It doesn't taste quite as good as fresh, but you can still use it. So you have a clove like this. Then you have to take the outer peel off. I usually find it's easiest to, I'm going to borrow your knife here real quick. Just have to cut off the ends. And then you can work on peeling it with your hands, but another technique is take the flat side of a knife and take the garlic clove and just hit it. Just smash it, and then it's much easier to peel. All right, so now we have our garlic clove. So you could take your knife and dice it, but what I'm going to show you is the garlic press. So you have this, you put your garlic in there, and then you press it like this, and the garlic comes out like that. So it's a little bit more fun than dicing it by hand because it's so small. So I can have some of you work on that if you're waiting for a knife. There's one more thing I'm going to show you, is we have this thing. Does anybody know what this is? Ginger, man, awesome. Cook's here. So there's a couple different things you can do with fresh ginger. And again, you can use ginger powder, but it's always has a little bit more flavor if you use fresh. So what I do is take a vegetable peeler and peel off the outer skin of the ginger, and you will smell it right away. Ooh, ooh. You make tea with it too. You do a lot of things with fresh ginger. Add some really nice flavor. So you take the skin off of it, and then you take these things. These called a rasp or a grater, a few different words for this. And then you just grate it. Go like this, and it comes out really nice and fine. Another thing that, we're going to wait on the oranges. All right, so I'm going to pass out some garlic and some ginger. So if you're waiting for a knife to finish your vegetables, you can start working on that. Sound good? All right.
You're doing all right. You're fine. It's fine. Keep cutting. And there you go.
We literally have one knife.
Yeah.
Oh. No, not like that, like that. Let's wait until everything's partly done. Oh, I see. Click on my zucchini. Click on my zucchini. All of us, one by one. Wow. No, it's not this.
Stick your fingers in there.
I want this one.
Don't stick your fingers in there, wait.
Nah.
It's good.
There. I got the flash with tofu a lot. I'm gonna get it.
I'll take a smallish piece of tofu. I'm not a huge tofu. What? To eat? Do we put it in?
No, I think they said you're just supposed to cut it.
I wanna cut it.
They are.
I didn't know that.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's just like green peppers.
We need ginger. 1 teaspoon of ginger. We don't have ginger, we don't have teaspoons.
Here.
Wait, we need a tea, capital T. That's
Borrow
a
their spoon.
5 tea. What's a tea? What's a tea? What's a tea?
A big tea is tablespoon.
Oh.
That's brown sugar. Let me get a spoon. Here you guys go. So the big tea is tablespoon. The small would be a teaspoon. All right. All right, I'm going to come around and add some rice to your vegetables and your tofu. All right, you can stir that.
Here, no, it's a sauce.
All right, you guys ready for rice? Because you guys are both having the same sauce.
We could do our own. We could do our own.
They will want
I hate brown rice. I love brown rice.
It's like it's if you're making a dish with rice. Oh shoot! I'm gonna eat it. I'm definitely gonna eat it. Are there any more? Oh.
What do you think now? Not too much flavor? You guys ready to add your sauce? Okay, why don't you add the sauce? I don't think we're going to need all of it. Why don't you start with about half and then we'll try it. Who wants to stir?
Appetizing.
Yeah. Oh, but I didn't eat anything yet.
It's very
It's
hot.
really hot.
So you can make one dish, but make it taste different. Sure. So this is a great meal. It really, besides cutting the vegetables, it's not very difficult to make or time consuming. It's got your protein, your carbs, your grains, your vegetables, and you can do so many things with it. So what did you guys think today? What did you learn? Did you learn a new tool to use, a new kitchen tool? Anybody use something they haven't used before or cut something they haven't cut before? What did you use today or cut today that you haven't before?
I've never touched any of these things before.
Oh my gosh, so everything was new.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, that's cool. Very good.
I've never cut garlic before.
Never cut garlic. Yeah, garlic can be tricky because it's so tiny and to actually cut it is difficult. That's why the press is nice. That's cool. Anything else anybody learned today that they didn't know before? Ah, the choppers. Yeah, so somebody just said the choppers. So, yeah, these are kind of fun. They are, they do save some time if you have a lot to chop.
How much was it?
How much was this? I don't know. My guess is probably about $20. Anything else anybody wants to share about what they learned today?
I learned that my eyes don't like onions.
That your eyes don't like onions. So why you cry if you cut an onion is because the oils of the onion escape into the air. So a couple things you can do. One is after you cut it, rinse it off. Rinse off the onion. And some people think, oh, it'll rinse away the flavor, but it won't. So rinse off the onion and the oils. You'll get rid of the oils, and you won't have those oils coming up to your eyes. So that's one thing you can do. Or you can wash your hands right away and the knife right away. Put that aside. Anything to get those oils away from your face really helps. But washing them helps. Well, I'm pretty much done. Is there anything that the library would like to say or share with us?
So I wanted to thank you all for making me lunch. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. Hope you guys all enjoyed yourself today. I want to thank Linda so much for coming out and offering this workshop. We've got time. We've got a lot of food left. Feel free to keep on eating. Otherwise, I'm going to eat it all. And please, before you leave, we've got another little survey to fill out. That really helps us at the library know what worked, what didn't work, what if we should do this program in the future, if you have other suggestions. So don't forget to fill out one of those before you leave. Again, thank you so much, Linda. Thank you all for coming.
And thank you guys for doing a great job. I really love it. You guys all got into it. Everybody got to chop something, cut something, and everybody was getting all involved. So that was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.